This was an 8th grade project where they were combining World War II with a narrative paper that they had to write for language arts. So we were creating a cross-curricular digital experience for the students. They had 5 to 8 different topics that they had to cover, where they were writing scripts, doing podcasts as if they were in a radio show from the time period, creating a journal entry, which then led to their narrative paper.
So after Ms. Keogh gave us the instructions and she explained the lesson and the topic that we were doing, our first thing that we had to do was do a script. So the script was based off of World War II, and each episode was a different topic. So my favorite was Pearl Harbor because it had so much going on, and we decided to, so our radio show was in actual Hawaii, and at the time that's when Pearl Harbor was happening, so we decided to add in background music and then we were in the attack basically, and it was really cool and fun.
After we wrote the script, we started recording. When we were recording, we tried to put as much emotion in it as we can. In one of our podcasts, we were interviewing a soldier at Pearl Harbor, and once they were secured and stuff, how it felt like, and we put a lot of crying emotion and scared emotion into it.
After the podcast, our next step was to do our journal entries, which was to write if you were in the time in your episode, how would you feel your daily life in that episode. So we had about 8 journals, and so first we talked about the stock market crash and how it affected us in it. And then we did the Great Depression, and then we did Pearl Harbor and some facts. So I went off of my episode and kind of put myself into it and just wrote about how I felt.
So after we finished our journal entries, we had to write a narrative, and the narrative, it was going to be based on the kind of character we created while we were doing the journal entries. And we basically just chose any section during the lifetime of that kind of character and just wrote about it.
After we were finished recording and writing our script and all of that stuff was done, there was a couple of people selected to do a website so we could put it all together. We just had to have a homepage of what we're going to be talking about, the topics we're going to be talking about, and then once we put that all together, we had to put all of our radio shows and our journal entries and then the narrative in the site.
I actually don't really like social studies, but I like doing this project because there were just so many layers and we got to go more in depth than just a lesson. Usually we just learn the surface, what face value, the big things, the main ideas, but with this we got to go in depth and we got to learn more about what was happening in society at the time, or how it felt to be at the home front and how it felt to be a soldier, or how it felt to be on the other side of the war.
I liked this because I really got hands-on in it. I could feel how they felt in the past, and I kind of got connected to how we were in the past.
In my opinion, I think they gained the understanding of learning a different way, and the learning being on them. As the teacher, I only gave a 45-minute lesson 1 day a week on each topic, so it really was up to them to learn about the time period, present their information as if they were living through the time period. It couldn't be looking at it from today into the past. They had to be actually embedded in the material. So they learned a lot more about what was going on and the reactions and the feelings of the people from that time period. This type of learning was important because it grabbed them from a different side of the curriculum than they expected to be touched from. It also gave them the chance to be empowered with their learning.